And we're back on the record for the beginning of disc number 6. The time is 4:38.
Thank you. Mr. Mignogna, my name is Sam Johnson. We met this morning, but have you and I ever met or spoken before that interaction this morning that you can recall?
I know of.
Okay. And just so you know, I represent Jamie Markey in this matter, who's also a defendant in this case. So I know you've answered a lot of questions today, and I'm going to fill in some gaps that I have in my list, but a lot of what I had has already been addressed, so I'm going to do my best not to duplicate that. Same rules apply. Please allow me to finish my question before you answer. If you need a break, just let me know.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. I wanted to take a few steps back and talk a little bit more about your work and about what you do. So I know we talked a little bit about how many productions you've been in, how long ago you started. From what I can tell, not all of your work is in anime. Is that correct?
The vast majority of it is, but not all of it, certainly.
Okay. Are there, other than the Star Trek Continued, is it Continued?
Continues.
Continues. I apologize.
That was just a passion project.
Okay. Are there any other live action productions that you've been in?
A handful over the years.
Okay.
I've done some Christian films, and I've done some short films. And
are there subgenres of anime that you appear in, or your voice appears in, more than others? I don't know the answer. I don't know if that's a thing. Just wanted
I would
to ask.
say no, sir.
Okay.
When you're talking about 300 plus series, you're talking about every conceivable style and genre. Mm-hmm. Scary, funny, shows for boys fighting, mecha shows, romance shows, scary. I mean, it covers the gambit.
Okay.
And often I don't even know what I'm going to do until I get in there. I don't even know a lot about what I'm doing until I get in there and they go, "You're this guy."
Okay, so you don't normally get the script very far in advance?
Never. No, you don't get it ever in advance.
Okay. I know you've got some social media presence. I wanted to walk through and see exactly which platforms you have an account on.
Okay.
I know you have a Twitter account. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a Facebook account?
Yes, sir.
On Facebook, let's strike that. Do you have an Instagram account?
No, sir. I downloaded the app because of all the cool things you can do, like put funny faces and hats and weird things, but I don't ever use it. I don't think I've ever posted on Instagram once.
How about?
Okay, real quick, a couple things. One, I'm stopping specifically because people hate it. And so I'll do that, fairly frequently throughout the video to comment on some things.
I'm stopping specifically because people hate it.
Snapchat?
No, sir.
Any other social media platforms that you regularly use?
No, sir. And the only reason I've ever used them is because fans encouraged me to do them as a way to interact with fans.
Right. And your Twitter account, if I remember correctly, is verified. Is that right?
I think so. That means that they basically verify that you're you.
That's right.
I think it's true. There's a dot or something. Is that right?
There's a blue circle with a little white check mark inside next to your name.
I believe you.
Do you remember what you did to get that account verified?
No.
Okay. Do you know if you did anything?
I don't remember doing anything. In fact, when somebody said something about being verified, I literally said, "How does that work? Like, how do you do that?"
Do you use a publicity firm that might have done that for you?
No.
Do you use a publicity firm at all?
No.
So you do all of your publicity, your social media posting, your statements, all that?
Yes, sir.
Let me finish, please.
Sorry.
All those things, you generate those yourself?
Yes, sir. Or I have. Over the years, I have. This incident has been the first time that I have ever sought the services of someone to help. Okay,
so with regard to the statements and occurrences that are discussed in this lawsuit, you have been receiving some publicity help?
The couple that I mentioned
Okay.
in particular.
All right.
Attorney interaction, of course.
Any PR firms?
No, sir.
Okay.
The couple in Florida considers themselves kind of a PR couple firm, but I don't know if they actually have a name, you know what I mean? I don't know if they're an official thing.
Right.
But
I think I understand. And you are the voice. Is it Brawley or Broly?
everybody says
is
something
it-
different. I've always thought it was Broly,
Okay.
but some people say Brawley. So
And I understand that film, Dragon Ball Brawly, was the third highest grossing anime film in the United States. Does that sound right to you? Were you pretty pleased with that success level?
it was, it was a privilege. I was really proud to be a part of it. I mean, I played this character for 15 years, and he would be in video games and stuff, and when I would do events, fans would always say, "Oh, I love Broly's my favorite character in Dragon Ball. When are they ever going to do anything more with him?" And I would always say, "I don't know, wouldn't that be fun?" And then when this movie was announced, you know, I was really excited about it.
That's a big deal, you know, third highest grossing. And I assume that brings with it a pretty significant fan base.
I already had, I think they already existed.
Okay.
I think. I don't do any analytics or count this or that, but I think my overall body of work over the years has been pretty well received.
Okay. Yeah, your IMDb page says that you've been in over 356 productions. Does that
Yeah,
sound?
I don't even know. I mean, I said over 300, and I didn't even know. I don't keep track. After a while, you just do them.
Do you ever have that situation where people, you know, if you're at the airport or Starbucks or whatever, do fans recognize you out in
No.
public?
No, and I think that's one of the interesting things about voice acting. You know, you're not recognized.
How about when you're at the conventions?
Well, I mean, there, yes, because people come there specifically to celebrate anime.
Okay.
And because of the internet, you know, you can look up, you know, people's faces and stuff and find out who somebody is who played this character or that.
What is Rizambul?
Rizambul was the town that my character and his brother came from in Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay.
So it was literally just
Your fans.
it was, yeah, the two women started the Rizambul Rangers. I didn't start a fan club. I didn't ask anybody to start a fan club. A couple of fans contacted me and said, "We want to start a fan club for you." I'm like, "Really? Okay." How fun, right? And they came up with the name based on the anime.
Okay. So it was based off of your prior work.
Yes, one of the characters that I played.
I do want to switch and talk about Jamie Markey, my client, at this point. How long have you known Jamie?
As long as she's been working at Funimation. I honestly can't tell you an amount of years. It's one of those things you don't really think about because you don't think you need to ever really know. But it's been as long as she's, if I had to guess, maybe 10 or 12 years maybe.
And so did you meet her working at Funimation?
Yes, sir.
And were y'all working on a production together, or
We worked on several productions.
is that how you first met?
Actually, it's an interesting dynamic because voice actors typically record alone, which means you and I and him and her could all be in a show together and never even meet each other because we would come in separately and record our lines. But you might cross paths in the hallway, or you might see each other in the lobby. And many times you also would do a convention and other voice actors would be there. I've actually met voice actors for the first time who I'd been in 8 or 10 shows with, and I'd never met them. But I met them at a convention because we were both invited there. And that's honestly how, more times than not, you actually talk to them more and, get to know them a little more there.
So, did you ever, I know you said you've done some live action productions. Was Jamie in any of those with you that you can recall?
Not that I can recall, no.
Okay, but y'all did interact at conventions?
Sure.
Okay. I do want to go ahead. What exhibit number are we on? 22.
You guys, did you mark something?
No, we didn't mark anything. There's the gap.
How about 22, 23, is what we looked at.
Thank you. Yes, please. Thank you. All right. I'm going to hand you what I've marked as Exhibit 22. And I'll represent to you that this is a cease and desist letter that was sent by your attorney to Ms. Markey. Have you seen this letter before?
No, sir. I was informed that it was sent, but I have not seen it personally.
Okay. Just want to walk through this letter. If you'll look with me in the first full paragraph, it says that the demand was relating to posts and tweets using the personal social media account, including @RonToy. Since this is sent to Ms. Markey, I'm assuming that's a typo. Do you have any reason to disagree with that?
Can I read that real quick?
Please.
This is specifically related to publication. I don't know. I don't know what that is relating to.
Okay.
Can I consult my? Is it a typo?
I just wanted to make sure there wasn't something that I
No,
wasn't
I don't-
aware
I-
of.
no.
This is the Lawyers
first
are
time I'm seeing
humans
it
too. We have typos, so it happens. I want to walk through with you the statements that your cease and desist letter addressed by Ms. Markey. And the first one I want to look at is February 6th, 2019 at 9:05 p.m. And there are some
Hold on.
quotes in the letter, but
What was that?
February 6th, 2019 at
February
9:05 p.m. And there are some quotes in the letter, but if you'll turn back to the fifth page, there's an image of the actual tweet. And I want to give you a minute to look at it.
Okay.
All right. Is your name mentioned anywhere in this tweet?
No, sir.
Okay. What in here is there to let you know that it references you?
Well, who is she responding to? Do we have the previous tweet? Clearly, she's responding to someone, right?
Object non-responsive. I'm just asking, based on what you can see on the page, is there anything that would let someone know that it's actually referencing you?
On this page alone?
Correct.
No, I don't see any. I do not see my name here.
Okay. What are the statements of fact? If we assume that this is about you, what are the factual statements that are made about you in this tweet? Something that could independently be verified by someone. If you read through it.
Well, this tweet alone, nothing.
Okay.
But she tweeted before this. When she initially tweeted her account of something.
Object non-responsive. We'll get to her other tweets.
Okay.
I'm only asking about this one. So.
No, there's nothing in here except. a lot of anger that I can see.
Object
I'm
non-responsive.
sorry, what was your question?
The question is just, what in this particular tweet on February 6th is a statement of fact about you?
Nothing.
Okay. And then in your letter, sorry to make you flip back and forth.
Sure.
But in the paragraph that goes from the first page to the second page that your lawyer wrote, it says that this tweet implies that you committed some type of criminal offense. Do you see anything in this particular tweet that gives that impression that a criminal offense was committed?
No, sir, but you have to take the context of the entire thing.
Object non-responsive after,
I said no, sir. I'm sorry. That was my response. Sorry.
You're fine. That's my job to clean it up.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. That's all my questions about that tweet. I'm going to skip ahead from the order that they're addressed in the letter to the next one chronologically, which was on February 7th, 2019. And that is on the last, page 11.
Okay.
Do you see that tweet? It says, "What would Jesus do?"
Page 11? Oh, goodness.
Yeah, the 11th.
I looked down here and I saw 1/1 and thought it was 11.
No problem.
So sorry. 8. Am I blind? 7. Page 8 is the last page I have.
It's the one before that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
All right. Give yourself a moment to read that.
Okay.
And my questions might sound familiar to you. The first one is your name stated in this tweet?
No, sir.
Is there any direct reference to you that you can see?
No, sir.
If we assume that this tweet was about you, what is the statement of fact about you in here?
No statement of fact about me in this tweet.
Thank you. I want to go to the last page in this, and there's no date here, but there's another. It's a little harder to tell. I can't tell. I think it's a tweet also. But there's one that's attributed to Ms. Markey. Do you see that on this page as well?
Here.
The third one down.
Yes.
Yes. Give yourself a moment to read that.
Okay.
All right. What is the statement of fact about you in this particular tweet as you read it?
The only thing that I can see is where she says, fighting back does not in any way, shape, or form make me as bad as Vic. I would say that tends to create a statement of fact that I'm a bad person.
Is that the only statement of fact that you see in there?
Yes, sir.
Do you see anything in that tweet that implies, as you read it, that you are a bad person akin to a criminal, or that there's any reference to criminal activity in this tweet?
Not in this tweet, no.
Thank you. All right. And then the last one is that I want to talk about is the one, it's on February 8th. And it's I think might be the one you had in mind a few moments ago, the one that I'm going to refer to as Ms. Markey's statement.
Okay.
So if I use that term, this is what I'm referring to.
Yes, sir.
Counsel,
Okay.
real quick, we're going to be here tomorrow. Jury didn't come to a decision. So we're in here tomorrow morning.
Okay. Thanks. So, and I'm wanting. Have you seen this tweet before? It's pretty lengthy. Do you recall having read it before today?
I'm pretty sure I read it. Somebody called me, a friend, and said, Jamie Markey just tweeted. And I'm like, Jamie? What about? And then I read it, or somebody like screen capped it and sent it to me.
Okay. I actually want to walk back to the second page of this exhibit, the actual letter that your attorney wrote for you. If you'll go to the second page, because there are a few statements that they point out that I just want to work through with you.
Okay.
They point out the statement that that's made that you, quote, gave almost all the women at my job the creeps, unquote. Do you see that in there?
I do.
Okay. And then there's the statement that at the time of the incident, Ms. Markey's writing about that you whispered something sexual in nature to her.
Correct.
All right. Do you have any evidence that you're aware of that Ms. Markey did not actually believe these statements to be true at the time she wrote them?
At the time she wrote them, or at the time they happened?
At the time she wrote them.
I can't answer for her. I don't know what's in her mind. I can't say whether she believed it was true or whether she was joining in to pile on. I don't know.
Are you, and I know you're not an attorney, sir, but are you aware of anything in the Texas Penal Code that is defined as being simple assault?
No, sir.
You're not aware of any crime or statute that's referred to that?
I mean, I've heard the term. I don't know the definition or the details of it.
Okay, so sitting here today, you don't know if that's actually a crime under Texas law?
Well, I don't know what it is, so, and I don't know if it's a crime.
I don't either. That's why I was asking. Would you agree with the statement that the way one person perceives a situation is not always going to be the same way everybody perceives that same situation?
Of course.
So is it possible that Miss Markey perceived pain when you pulled her hair in the lobby that day, and that you were unaware of that? And the reason I ask is you testified earlier.
I had no indication when it happened or in the years that followed that we've been friends and interacted that there was anything offensive or painful about it. In my mind, my recollection, it was very casual, playful interaction, as happens all the time in the hallways of Funimation.
But you would agree that she certainly could have perceived it differently than you.
Sure.
Is it your testimony today that you did not say something sexual into Miss Markey's ear at that moment that you were grabbing her hair?
Sorry.
You're good.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Okay. Do you recall if you said anything into her ear?
I don't recall that I said anything. If I did, it was literally something about, oh, I love your hair, or love it. It's awesome. You know, it was that kind of thing.
Okay. Other than the statements that we've discussed today, are there any other statements by Ms. Markey about you that are statements of fact that you allege to be defamatory in nature that you're aware of?
At present, that I'm aware of, no.
I'm gonna.
What's the number of this? Is it?
This was Exhibit 22.
Did I skip? You know what? I'm the worst. I've boomered this harder than it could be boomered. I've boomered this harder than it could be boomered. This is the last portion of the video. I skipped 2 hours of video. Oh my god.
生きるリバサイガスの吹きたまりはまちまったやつほど口が悪いここじゃ成功ってやつ雲隠れ俺たちの未来と空の色はグレー吹き替わり地のため全速で蔓延してきたのか神様がつけた最低変なら書き残すこの目しか見れない天命の名前だけこの決意に甘えはね
I know you've talked today about defendants having reached out to conventions and encouraging them to end their relationship with you or cancel a contract. Sitting here today, are you aware of any conventions that Jamie reached out to for that purpose?
I'm going to answer, and you're going to say non-responsive.
Objection non-responsive.
Stay there. We just saved ourselves 6 or 7 seconds. I have been told by several convention organizers who had booked me to be at their show that they were not inclined to cancel me until voice actors started coming out, because they weren't going to give a lot of credence to just a bunch of people on the internet, you know. Mm-hmm. But when the voice actors came out, and we all know who the voice actors were that came out, so I mean it's kind of an assumption. They didn't call me and say Jamie Lynn Markey and Monica Rial, you know what I mean, contacted us, but they did tell me that it was the public comments by the voice actors that led them to ultimately cancel me.
So it was the public comments, not necessarily a direct contact by a particular voice actor to the convention.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if there was any direct contact or not.
So sitting here today, you don't know of any conventions that Jamie directly reached out to, correct?
Not yet, no, not at present.
And then I think it was Miss Denbo at Funimation that you were communicating.
Okay, we're gonna go back to the correct spot. That was super boomer moment there. I apologize. I was checking. I realized what happened. I'll tell you. Before I started the show, I was checking the length of time on each video, and then I left up the other one and didn't go back and switch back. So I apologize profusely. Let's go back to where we left off from the other one. Spoilers. You've gotten a peek at the season. So we're gonna go back to this.